Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Gopika. Good evening, Keerthana.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Keerthana. Good to see you.
Same
Good
here.
evening, sir.
Good evening, Gopika. I cannot see you. Yeah, I can see you now. Good to see you.
Yeah.
നല്ല തണുപ്പാന്ന് തോന്നുന്നല്ലേ അവിടെ?
ഇവിടെ നല്ല തണുപ്പാ.
Okay. I think we will wait for a couple of minutes. I think a few more students should be joining in. We will wait for 2 more minutes and then we will start.
Yeah.
Sure, sir.
കീർത്തന പിന്നെ വന്നായിരുന്നോ? വരുന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് വന്നായിരുന്നോ? സെന്ററിൽ വന്നായിരുന്നോ? ഒരു
sir.
വന്നിരുന്നു.
ആ.
ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നോ വന്നിട്ട്?
ആ, ഹരീഷ് സാറിനെ കാണാൻ പറ്റി.
ഓ,
യസീൻ സാറിനെ കാണാൻ പറ്റി.
ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ. We will start in 1 minute. Okay, I think we should start. I am muting all of you so that the presentation goes smooth, but surely Keerthana and Gopika can be can be in unmute. Others probably can go on mute so that the presentation goes smooth. And if there's anything urgent, you can always unmute yourself and speak also. Right, so warm welcome to all of you yet again for today's session. I have with me Keerthana and Gopika, two of our esteemed guests, I should say, and who have gone about to do their MBAs at prestigious colleges in the country. Keerthana and Gopika, both of them from St. Thomas College, Autonomous Thrissur. And Keerthana has got into IIM Kozhikode for her MBA program. And Gopika has got into XIM Bhubaneswar for her MBA program. So the purpose of this today's session is to trace their journey from St. Thomas College to their respective colleges, basically about how they did it, kind of a story, and possibly some tips for all of you, because many of you are interested, possibly might be looking at MBA as a career option. If so, few suggestions, a few tips, and they can also speak about their life at MBA colleges and how is it very different from the ones that they had. In fact, Keerthana is having a different background when compared to Gopika, and they can speak about how they are able to make a fit from their previous backgrounds to their respective colleges. So without much ado, I am handing over to Keerthana and Gopika to take it forward. And the structure is I will ask few questions to start off, and then we will leave the room open for discussion. We don't want to make it very structured or formal. It has to be very informal so that You can also interact with them and you can also shoot your questions. Never mind the kind of questions that comes to your mind. You can always ask those kind of questions, right? So possibly I will start with Keerthana, not in any order, just in any order. So Keerthana, so can you tell us when did you decide about MBA as a career option? Probably I'm sure you would have discussed and thought about many career options and possibly zeroed in on MBA as a career option one point of time. So can you speak about how did you get into that? And you can also discuss about your background, about your educational background, and also that the people, the audience also would know about it.
Yes, sir, sure. So I started my CAT journey like almost around in July. July also, I know it was very late because the CAT exams happens at like November. It was in November 26th. So I would say that it was a very late decision that I've taken in my life. So what led to that is like I was very much confused between the career options that I had then. So I was ready to go prepare for UPSC. So at one point, but after my graduation, I realized maybe that's not the right way for me. So then I thought of bank, I thought of central government exams. So I was very much confused just after my graduation. So once I passed out in 2024, then I was very confused at that moment. And then I decided, okay, why not give a try for CAT? So then I joined like once I decided, the next thing I did was I called to Time Thrissur. I talked to DigiSir. So when is the next batch actually starting? And he said the batch just started. You can join in July itself. You can come tomorrow and join fast. So that's how my decision to go for CAT actually started. So just since you all are listening to me, so if you have a little like idea of doing an MPA, kind of a little wish that you need to give for CAT, then don't hesitate. Just go give your best, give it a try. So right now, like being in IIM Kozhikode, I'm very happy that I made that decision. So when coming to my academic background, like in my 11th and 12th, I was a humanities student. So I like social sciences a lot. So that's why I went for humanities. And further, I went to B economics in St. Thomas. And from there, so when it comes to the CAT, so should I discuss that also now?
No, I think we will get into Gopika to
CAT.
discuss the background and then we will come back to Keerthana. Gopika, can you also walk us through your academic background and your decision to do MBA as a career option?
Yes, sir. I think I'll start off with my academic background because in 11th and 12th, I was a commerce student because I wasn't really interested in science. And my family was also very encouraging because my mother works in mutual funds and my father in stock market. So I was naturally inclined to taking up something related to business. So I had a very clear picture, even when I was in 11th and 12th, that I wanted to do MBA. So because of that, I chose to do BCom from St. Thomas. And there is not much confusion about why I wanted to do an MBA. So I had a very clear picture. And after that, I like if you are in Thrissur, if you ask anyone, you'll get to know that Time is one of the best institute for CAT coaching. So I didn't have to think twice. So right after, I actually was preparing for CAT during my third year in while I was in St. Thomas while doing BCom. But since I couldn't juggle everything at the same time, I after my third year, after I completed my BCom, I prepared for CAT for one whole year. So yeah.
Okay, okay. Keerthana, can you find the difference between the St. Thomas College kind of an experience and getting into IIM Kozhikode? I'm sure it has to be a pretty very different, very vast. So actually, do you feel overwhelmed? Do you think that somebody from a normal background, a normal student with normal academics and possibly a little amount of coaching can make a difference while they get into an MBA program?
So definitely I'll say yes. It can really make big difference. For example, it's just me. I am the living example because like I know St. Thomas when I was studying there. Like even getting into college without a shawl was not allowed. Right now coming to IIM Kozhikode, it's completely like culture wise and in the individual wise, the peers over here. Like I'm sitting in a class where like majority are from BU, majority are from IIT. So it clearly makes the difference. Like being in a class, like even if the class discussion is going on, I'll wonder, okay, how they knows all these things. So I feel so privileged to be here, because to be in one among those who comes from an IIT or comes from a DU background, and me coming from St. Thomas was kind of a very big deal for me. So when it comes to Kozhikode, the life here, I've just seen through the reels that the IIMs never sleeps and all. So I got to like experience it in the first term itself. It was kind of hectic, but I don't know. I really enjoyed doing that. It was very hectic, like placements, everything was going on. It was very hectic, but I was so thankful that finally I'm getting the exposure to go through all these kinds of things. So kind of very happy that coming from a background, I studied in Vivekodayam, then I went to St. Thomas. So when I speak about St. Thomas, yeah, definitely nobody knows as of now. So coming from that background, doing an MBA over here makes a real huge difference here. Yes.
And Gopika, can you speak about how that mind shift change has happened from being a student at a small city like Thrissur? Thrissur, I'm sure you would know, is not that great when compared to the other major metros. But then you also have to make a mind shift change, right? So, Gopika, how were you able to make that mind shift change and getting into a place like Bhubaneswar? I think it is very different, Reza, with regard to everything, with regard to your culture, the food, the traditions, and everything. That mind shift change, was it a major challenge?
It was a major challenge, to be very honest, and I think it is very different. Like Keerthana said, the culture is very different, the people are very different, and the language is different. So it doesn't matter if you start speaking in English, they'll eventually start speaking in Hindi because that is their language. So everything is different. Initially, the shift is very challenging. Like you feel like it's very hard to be accustomed to everything, but that's the fun in MBA, right? You get to know a lot of different people from a lot of different culture and background, and this is how you network with people. In MBA, obviously, one of the most important things that you should study is networking. So, doing this course, and especially being in such an environment, is the perfect way for you to do that. It was challenging, but there is also a lot of fun in doing that. Yeah.
Okay, Gopika, can you speak about something about the college, the placement details, and how are the faculties, the infrastructure, and basically the life at XIM Bhubaneswar, the clubs, committees, etc.
Yes, sir. So, XIM Bhubaneswar, there are actually two campuses. There is an old campus where where you get to learn MBA Business Management, and a new campus with MBA HRM. I'm in new campus. I'm an MBA HRM student. Um, it's very XIM MBA is actually they value academics a lot. There is strict attendance. They're very strict when it comes to academics. But at the same time, this is a student-driven college. Faculty has only a role for teaching you whatever subjects that we have. It is entirely student-driven. Everything is taken care by the seniors, from basic facilities like mess, hostel to placements. Everything is student-driven, and we have a lot of committees. Like if I start speaking about the committees, I can go on and on forever. A lot of committees, and the infrastructure. This is a 50 something acre campus, comparatively smaller while compared to IMK and all, I'm pretty sure. But very nice. This is in a place called Jatni in Bhubaneswar. It's a very rural area. And pedagogy is also different while compared to doing undergraduation from St. Thomas. So you can't expect to learn everything from books. You get PPTs and you learn everything from case studies. Case studies are very, like, that's the main form of pedagogy here. You get a lot of case studies, you do discussions with the faculty, with everyone. And if you have stage fear, if anybody has stage fear, that will completely go away if you do MBA, because you have to present everything in front of a lot of people. So that won't be an issue once you start doing MBA. I had stage fear, but now not anymore. So you can't expect everything to be in the same way as your undergraduation or in your school. It is entirely different, but it's also very like it's enlightening and it's very it makes you come out of your comfort zone. So yeah.
How is the placement looking this year?
Placements this year for SIPs, we are faring pretty well actually. Uh, and for even final placements, we have an average of almost 17. And as of now, the highest is 30.
30
So
lakhs,
we're rather
30 lakhs
faring
per annum,
pretty
right?
well.
And 17 lakhs per annum is the average.
Is the average.
Okay.
And 30 the highest as of now. But
Oh,
still the placements are going on. So yeah.
I think we discussed a lot about getting into IIM Ghaziabad and XIM Bhubaneswar, right? I think we zeroed in on these two colleges, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it IIM? Yeah. I think it was IIM Ghaziabad, right? And then you chose
Yeah,
to
yeah.
stick
I'm
with,
Ghaziabad.
and then you
Yeah.
choose to stick with it. And I think that is good to be right also, right? You
Yeah.
followed your heart, I would say. You wanted to be
Yes.
there actually. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to be here.
And there was a confusion with regard to the HR, how how HR will span out. But you
Mm.
you are perfectly fine with that, right? How about the prospects of HR and everything.
Yes, yes. Now I do have an idea about it. I have a clear picture. So there are a lot of opportunities in HR. So it's a very good area in MBA.
Okay,
So now I'm fine with it.
fine with that. Thanks, Keerthana. Can you speak something about the college life there, about the clubs and committees, possibly about how the students can be involved even in placements and other areas, and how the life generally looks like, including the camp placements and everything.
Yes, sir. In IMK also, it's very much similar to like Bhubaneswar also. I sounds it very similar. So when it comes to the like right now, I'm coming from a musical practice. So there is in our course there is one subject where the entire class need to perform a theater, and it is going to happen at 17th. So everyone, so many of them is it's their first time in acting, first time doing singing a music and all. So it's everything new, as like Gopika mentioned. If you have stage fear, you won't be having it once you reach here. And so now coming to the placement part, so it's also driven by the student. So our SIPs is almost done, and I'm not very sure about the senior average package. It's because still the placement is going on. Junior average stipend. So this it's like here the highest stipend was per month 3 lakh for Nestle. So it was around that was the highest over here for SIP, and it may go up to 50,000, but almost the stipend average can be around 1 lakh. So that is the average SIP stipend over here. And when it comes to the clubs and committee, I'm a part of cultural committee here. So just like that, you mentioned what is your passion, whatever you like, everything have a club or a committee here. So you can come and participate. Every interest of yours is valuable, is respected. Like, and every committee have some programs. So when it comes to MBA, maybe our classes here starts at 9:15 in the morning, and so it may fluctuate. Maybe the first class won't be there. Usually 9:15 to 5:15 is our class timings, and after that there will be one or the other event that is conducted by any clubs or committee. So something will be happening in the campus at some time or the other. So that's how the clubs and committees and placement goes.
Okay, I think now we should leave the room open for discussion with the students. So friends, if you have any questions, you should be asking now. You can unmute yourself and ask, or you can put in the chat box also.
Ma'am, I would like to know your preparation journey from you both, because your journey is something, your preparation is, it takes some efforts and it's something that you got. So I would like to know your preparation journey.
Who is this? Just to understand the name.
My name is Nancy Joseph. I'm a second year student.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm so happy that in second year itself you're thinking about CAT and all. You are in a webinar right now, so kudos to that. Keep on working. So my journey started, as I mentioned, very late. So it started in July. So my journey was quite very simple. I directly joined time, and then I joined the full classes. So I was in W8 batch. So out there, we will get the study materials, and also there will be sectional tests and aim cats that will be going on. And so usually my preparation was completely relying to that. And at some point, like there are three sections, as you know, there is VRC, LRDI, and also the quant section. So for me, quant was difficult as I come from a humanities background. Like I haven't touched quants or basic maths till then. So what I did was I used to follow the classes, and then if there is any doubts, you ask any of the faculties. They will directly help you. And from there, if you found difficulty in VRC, what I used to do is like when I travel through bus and all, I used to read some Aeon essays and or something I used to read, or I should listen to some Spotify like any podcast to increase my vocabulary. Along with that, maybe it will increase our speed in reading and all. So I used to follow that as well. Since I will be the person who mostly comes as early, like I used to reach there at 45 or something. Then I used to go to there is a library in time actually. So I'll go there and start reading something. So that's how my preparation was there.
Yeah. Gopika, can you speak something about your preparation? I think that was a question that I want to ask.
Yes, sir. So my preparation journey is just like Kirtana said, we'll get material from time. I don't think you have to prepare anything extra. Everything that you get from time, all these materials are more than enough. Plus, something that I'd like to point out is the sectional tests. In time site, you have sectional tests for each section, DILR, Quant, and VARC, and you have EC, medium, and advanced level tests. So doing this will help you a lot. This is what actually helped me for my during my CAT prep, and more than that, you will have AIMCAT, which is a CAT level mock tests that you have every single week. So once you join, try doing that every single week. It's very helpful. And after doing that, I used to analyze the answers sitting in the library with my friends. So not just attending all these tests, you should also analyze the answers. And this preparation is more than enough. Everything that you get from all the materials and all the sectional tests will be more than enough for CAT prep.
Okay. Thanks,
Can I
Kirtana.
add something to Gopika? Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So once you attended AMCAT, like don't get disheartened by the score, like whatever it is, don't feel bad about it.
Yeah. I think the preparation has to start early. I think that is what Kirtana and Gopika would vouch for. If you have a second year student, I think this is the right time to start preparing. And you can actually prepare from the base, from the foundation level when you start from the second year. That is one huge advantage that you have. And I think once you have set MBA as a career goal in mind, it is always better you start preparing as early as possible and don't wait for your graduation to end. You can obviously attempt CAT after graduation also, but that has to be a backup plan. The primary plan has to be attempting CAT while you are doing your graduation. And second year, I think will give you ample time. The classes also have happening nowadays. We have online live interactive classes, and we have the weekend classes on Sundays also. I think Gopika has joined us initially as a weekend student, right? I remember if I remember correctly, yes. So
Yes,
she has
yes.
joined us as a weekend student initially, and then after graduation, then she came to for the weekday batches. So I think you should, if you have that clear option in mind, I think you should start away right away. That is a clear advice that anybody would give you if you start preparing. If you ask anybody who has got into some good colleges, that is one steady advice that people will give across the spectrum. Okay. Any other questions? I think that was answered. Yes, Sam want to ask you, either of you can take it. Do you regret not having a job experience before MBA? Either of you can take it. Anybody? I think both of you don't have experience, so I think I don't know whether they can take that question. But then surely you can speak your perspective if any one of you can speak about your perspective.
Yeah. I personally don't regret not having an experience, but yeah, surely when you're giving interviews after your CAT, maybe when you see a lot of people with experience from different field, you'll feel a bit uh, inferior, or you'll feel uh, anxious whether you'll get in or not. But uh, yeah, I mean, if you do have experience, good for you, but it hasn't been a hindrance for me, really. Might depend on people to people, but I don't know. It hasn't been much of a hindrance for me.
Keerthana,
Same.
yeah.
Yes, same experience. Like, it was not a difficult, like, it was not something difficult for me. Like, as a fresher, also, like for the interviews, for placements, or during the like during the admission process and all. So, if I had an experience, maybe the focus will be completely on that. If I had academics, then the focus will be on the academics. That's the only difference that I found. But here, there are some companies which shortlist people with particular like experiences. But since other better options are also there, so it was not a problem.
Sam, just to add to both of them, work experience is not a mandatory factor when you get into an MBA program. So you will always find a mix of people. You will find freshers, you will find work experience people, you will find people from BCom, BTech, BA, BSc, political science, doctors, lawyers, and everywhere. So it is a wide mix of heterogeneous group actually. So there are people with work experience, but it is not mandatory. And probably you should also know that an admission into an MBA college is a summation of many factors, including your CAT score, your performance in interview, in your VAT, that is your written ability test, your academics. Possibly they might take something of your 10th, 12th, and graduation. Few colleges will not consider a graduation, but few colleges they might consider academic. They might consider your extracurricular activities if you have co-curricular activities, gender diversity when the girls have a slighter advantage in few colleges, and they might even look at the non-engineering factor also. Non-engineers have a little more advantage. So there are many things, out of which work experience is one factor. And just to tell you one experience, last year we had from time Thrissur alone, we had 45 students who walked into IIMs, plus another 20 odd students like Gopika, who got into the prestigious, the top 20 colleges like IITs and IITs and XIMBs and all the another 20 odd colleges. And while we were looking and analyzing the data, out of the 65, 23 of them were having some kind of work experience, but a whopping 42, that is 75% of them approximately, have no work experience at all. So they were absolutely freshers with zero experience. So that tells the story. More importantly, that work experience is not mandatory, but then if it is there, it is good. I'm not saying it is bad. It is not mandatory. That's all what that one could say about it. Sam, if that answered your query. Okay.
Add on to that,
Yeah.
in XIMB, it's actually 72% of our batch is freshers.
Oh,
Only 28% is
okay.
people who have WorkX. And here it's very easy to get SIPs even if you're a fresher.
Okay. I think
Even
SIP, I think you have to say what is SIP. I think many people might not know
uh,
about what is
yeah,
SIP.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so SIPs are the internship that you get. Between your first year and second year, for 2 months, you have to mandatorily do an SIP in a company. So even in the company that I got an SIP in, there were 5 people selected, and most of them do not have WorkX. So WorkX is not really mandatory. It's fine even if you don't. There are, as Sir said, there are a lot of other factors. So yeah, it's not really mandatory to have WorkX. It's fine.
Okay. Any other questions?
So hi, am I audible?
Yeah, very much. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Akshay and I'm a second year student. So my question for you is, as a CAT cleared student, now studying in a top college, what one strategy or mindset change do you think made the biggest difference in your journey?
Yeah, so what I used to do is, like, I'm a person who uses sticky notes here and there, and I'll get very much motivated by it. So I think in one of the webinars like this, Digisa once pointed it out, or maybe in the WhatsApp group, a poster comes like dreams doesn't come true like just by it's not a magic that comes true. It involves a lot of hard work. You need to put efforts to it, and then only the dreams come true. So till then, I have the dream. I need to get into the IIM, top IIM, like A, B, C, or K. So I had that dream there, but once after I putting it out there, I'll again and again ask the question: Am I putting the effort? Am I putting enough effort for getting this goal? So I think that one thing has really motivated me, and I also had this habit of writing down all my AIMCAT score, which is very bad. So actually, that also looking into it, I was not scoring that well in the first in the AIMCATs at that time. So that also actually kind of motivated me. So I need to do my best. I need to perform well. It's just a matter of 3 or 4 months. If I work hard in this time, I know it will actually change my life. So that was my motivating factor.
It's all in your mind, actually, Akshay. It's all in your mind. Basically, when we analyze cat, and we have analyzed the cat this year also. And for your information, Keerthana and Gopika, this year the cat was a watershed, and it was it was actually different for many, and it was actually easy. But then the students at that point of time actually panicked and got it messy. But it was not very difficult. In fact, all of our faculties, including Yasin sir, Kamlan and all have appeared for CAT, and it was not very difficult as people say, but then it is all in your mind. It is essentially, it is not about maths, it is not about reasoning, it is not about English. It is about those 120 minutes where if you are able to have, if you can present the best version of yourself. I think I would put it that way. It is always about putting the best version of yourself. And it is never, the CAT has never been about English, maths, and reasoning. It is about you as a person and what goes in your mind for those 120 minutes. Whether you have that absolute control over those 120 minutes basically decides the outcome of that particular exam. I would put it that way, Akshay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
One question that I'm always curious about: what actually surprised you both when you got into these colleges? Like, you never thought this would be like this, and suddenly you realized, oh, this is how it is. If you can share something, were you caught away by the surprise factor? Any one of you?
I would say, I mean, it shouldn't come off as something surprising, but the students are extremely competitive, like off the charts competitive. It's very difficult to deal with them sometimes, but again, that is a lesson for you. You have to strive hard to come above them, and it's not an easy thing to do, but very competitive and different kind of people, right? It's not really easy to adjust with them sometimes, but you learn a lot of things in MBA. So yeah, it shouldn't come off as surprising, but still it was surprising to see.
Actually, when we speak to them, you
Yeah,
will
so for
understand
me,
their language, their tone, the things that they speak about are very different from the ones that we used to think about. Especially when I went to IIM Kozhikode, that's the first time I left South India and went to North India. It was a huge thing actually. It was that the South India North India divide, and the guys when they used to speak about, they speak about many things that even we don't have any clue about. I was hearing about many things the first time when I reached there actually, and that was for me. It was, I never knew that in India. There's a huge difference between the people. That was a huge amount of a realization for me then at that point of time. Nowadays, actually, the world has become smaller. You now have YouTube and all that. Those point of time, nothing. We had nothing. We just had Google coming in there, and then it is very different. But possibly Kirtana, while being in Kozhikode, I think should not have problem. But then of course the peer profile has to be overwhelming, right? It is very different.
so even though I'm in Kozhikode, so when I enters to IIM Kozhikode, it feels like I'm in a different universe. Like because here there is only 30 Malayalis. Like first years are
Oh,
among 100, there is only 30 Malayalis, and all most of them are from North. And the thing is, even from people from Telangana and all, they speak Hindi really well. So as Gopika was mentioning, if we start speaking in English, but there are so many kind people, they will ask, "Is it okay for you? Are you able to understand it?" but then again they will switch to Hindi. So it's their mother tongue, so they will just go with the flow. I'll say like one thing that surprises me was like the surprise quizzes. So once I reached here, like random 2 o'clock, I got a message. You have a quiz at 3, and then I was like, what? Then instead of everyone, we used to know when is the exam, when is the quiz going to start and all. So here I just got a message and I need to appear for a quiz. So it was very much surprising for me. And then the SIP summer internship time, I thought the process will be happening like during the Jan or Feb. But right after getting here, then I started hearing about in July, July, August, the process is going to start. So that was also quite surprising.
And Gopika, just a cheeky question. How is the food at Orissa? How are you able to manage that? Are you able to manage that, the food in Orissa? They're very different.
Manageable, but very different.
Very different.
Initially, it's very hard.
Very
Yeah.
hard. Okay. Any questions? Others? Okay, if no one is asking, Keerthana, can you, if you remember the experience of interview at IIM Kozhikode, if you have that, if you can recall that interview experience, can you share that? I think that might be useful for somebody who wants to prepare for the interviews also.
Yes, sure. So in IIM Kozhikode, there is 3 programs. PGP is there, LSM is there, and then finance is there. So right now I'm doing my PGP in LSM over here. So I attended 2 interviews for Kozhikode. It was PGP and LSM interview. So my PGP interview was like in starting, like it was kind of my first interview, I remember. So I was constantly preparing my self-introduction just before the like I was just memorizing this. Okay, my name is Keerthana, I'll tell this, I'll tell this. And once I entered, they just threw me a paper and asked me to draw a graph. So at that point itself, I was surprised what. And so academics is very important. So you need to get really well with your academics. So even it was kind of a pressure interview for me in the PGP one. So even though I drew the graph, they was like, everyone knows this, draw like an economist. So they was kind of making me pressure at that moment. And after they was like, it's okay. Then asked me some questions, but I was not able to convert PGP. Then LSM interview happened at April 15th. It was my last interview. So it was like there was a VAT. So after your CAT, there will be a written ability test that you need to give. And after that comes the personal interview session. So the VAT topic was something comfortable for me. So I was happy with that. And when it comes to LSM interview, it was very comfortable for me. Since I used to teach chess to students, so my interview was based on chess and also some economics. Even though it was not an academic based economics, it was like a social kind of who won the Nobel Prize on this. So some GK questions was covered, and also like my favorite film director. So some literature kind of an interview has happened for my LSM. Yeah, that's how my LSM.
Okay, okay. Any other questions? Okay, so last question possibly from my side. Can you say that your experience so far at IIM Kozhikode and XIM Bhubaneswar, has it changed your outlook towards your professional life? When you when you set apart to getting into an IIM Kozhikode or XIM Bhubaneswar, you might have thought about this is what I want to do with my career. But after your experience there so far for the last so many months, how do you think your career outlook has changed? It has changed for a huge difference has happened to your career outlook, or it remains the same as that you set out to achieve? Anyone of you?
So once during IIMK admission, we need to give an SOP. So out there, we need to write down what we want to be, like what we see in the next 5 years and all. So I remember that I first write marketing and sales. I want to be in marketing and sales. It was Sandur sir who corrected me. It's sales and marketing. So I was that clueless on my like what I want to be. Even though I like marketing, I feel like I can do it. So, but I was very much clueless about the corporate world and all. So I didn't got that much exposure. So once it reaches here, like there are so many who have experiences, so they have a lot of stories to share, like how a corporate life really looks like. And after like every class is also dealing you like in a way that how to face those challenges, like as Gopika mentioned, it is all about case studies. So how in a corporate world, what problem is going on and how will you find the solutions for it, or what the other companies has done. So we are learning a lot from real stories, real experiences and all. So that really changes my perspective, like what I should be doing in a corporate office. So yeah.
So any other questions, or else I think we should wind up. I'm sure all of you will be very hungry. I don't want to keep you waiting. Yeah, somebody want to ask the difference of teaching in St. Thomas College and the top institutions. I think Gopika should take it. I think since from a BCom student, I think many have come from BCom background. Possibly, I found it a huge difference between the way I was taught financial accounting in my college. I did my graduation from RUNS College, Trivandrum, and I did my BCom there. And I found a sea of difference when I walked into IIM Kozhikode and I had my first financial accounting class. It blew my mind actually. So, Gopika, can you share something about your this thing?
Yes, so as I mentioned before, the pedagogy is completely different. If you are a BCom student, doesn't matter if you're learning accounts, doesn't matter if you're learning business management, everything will be learned from your textbooks. Here, my textbooks are sitting right here, actually. It's piled up. I haven't touched any single one of the textbooks because it's entirely different. There is no use in learning from textbooks. Here, it is completely different. Actually, in XIM, teachers will give you PPTs. They'll give you presentations of their notes. So I only learn from those notes. I do not open the textbook at all. And whatever questions they're giving, it won't be from the textbooks. It will be from those PPTs. So that is much more important. And also, we don't get to learn a lot from case studies or anything of that sort. But here, when you're doing MBA, one of the major differences, you'll get a lot of case studies. Maybe you'll be divided into groups, or maybe individually, you'll have to present these case studies. And these will be real life scenarios that has happened in various businesses, various companies. So you'll have to present it in front of the class, and it's eye-opening. Like it's a very practical thing to do. It's not just theoretical. That's the primary difference. Here you get to learn theoretical and practical, while in St. Thomas, obviously if you're a BCom student, it's majorly theoretical. So this is also one of the main difference. It's very different. If you go to top institutions, it's very different, but you'll get used to it. It's not really hard, especially if and even as Sir said, accounts is also very different. It's not taught like you were taught in St. Thomas College. Uh, I would ask you to have a thorough basic understanding of accountancy, because here they won't teach you the basics. They will directly dive into the advanced part of accountancy. So it's always good if you are thorough with the basics of your academics, whatever you are learning, be it BCom or economics, whatever. You should be thorough in the basic things.
How were the engineers able to manage that? They were able to manage that?
Here, actually, the number of engineers are very less, but they are extremely smart enough to understand whatever is being taught in the class. They're a different bunch of people, I'm telling you. And obviously, a lot of people who don't have a background in commerce, they come to me, or they come to people who actually have background in commerce, and we help each other out. So it's easy, actually. It's not that difficult. Commerce is an easy subject, accounts is easy, but obviously, if you do have a background in it, it'll be better if you have a thorough understanding.
Yeah. So can I add on one point?
Yeah, please.
So out here, like the one important factor that I found as a difference is here with every faculty, there will be a TA. So that is a teaching assistant, associate. He or she will also be coming. So with her, there will be a sheet of every once of our photo. So it's not like in St. Thomas, it will be like 80% final exam and 20% internal exam that you're writing. But here, there is points for your class participation. So sure, he will be marking that how much you're participating in the class, and your like the projects have more weightage. It's not like just copying paste from ChatGPT and submitting. That doesn't work. So you really need to put effort into it. You need to give your assignments in well date. So faculties are very strict about the deadlines and all. And also for here, like there is 10% weightage for like class participation, 5% for the quizzes that I mentioned earlier. And then we have weightage for final exam, and there is midterm exam that is also taken into consideration.
Okay. Somebody wants to know what is the weightage of your UG getting into the IIMs or getting into the colleges. What is the weightage of your UG score? UG marks.
I don't remember the exact percentage of weightage. I think it varies from college to college. But uh, obviously, your academics is important. They will take into consideration your 10th, 12th, and UG marks. But again, it doesn't have a lot of weightage. Sir, do you remember? Like, I don't.
It is different. In XIM Bhubaneswar, I think
Uh,
they consider 10th, 12th, and graduation, but it is not very heavy. See, it depends on
yeah.
colleges to colleges, my dear friends. It depends. And I think Kozhikode this year, I think, has not taken graduation. I think last year, I think they have not taken graduation. They have taken only 10th and 12th. So it depends on many things. I have seen students with 59% in graduation walking into IIM. I've seen students with 20 supply or 20 ideas, as we call it, walking into IIM Rohtak. So it is not about your graduation score. As I said, it is a function of many things, out of which academics is one factor, and out of academics, 10th, 12th, and graduation, again, they are divided into three. And there are colleges which don't even consider graduation. There are colleges which don't consider 10th, and there are colleges which might consider 12th and graduation little higher. So it depends on colleges to colleges. But never ever a student has been rejected primarily because his score is very low in graduation, or somebody has got accepted because his score is superb in graduation. It never happens that way. Okay, and one more question. I think this is somebody was asking about the fees at IIM Kozhikode, Keerthana.
Yeah, so I took PGP LSM. So here there is a compulsory immersion program as well. So in 1 month, we need to go to another country and stay there for our 1 term, or I guess. So by including that also, we have around like 30 lakhs approximately. I'm not very much sure about it, but don't get scared of the fees right now, because like every banks will start calling you once you got the admission. There is no collateral or anything needed, and also there is scholarships. So if your income level is less than 7 lakhs, there is a college scholarship from here which will pay back so you around 14 lakhs. If your annual income is less than 2.5 lakhs, then 20 lakhs will be paid back by the central government. So for those who need it, there are scholarships and other necessary actions by the college.
I think that is not a problem, my dear friends. You have a large amount of loans that are available, and that is going to be repaid by you, and that is the loans are given to you. And I have not yet seen a student who has gotten admission into a fantastic college, and he or she has not been able to pay the fees because he or she has not been able to get a loan. That situation has never happened in my last 8 years of my life. It has never happened. So the important thing is about getting into the college. And once you get in, I think things will just work out. Don't worry about it. And for that matter, I can tell from our personal experience, I think we have around 125 students who have joined IIMs and the top colleges in the last 3 years. And I am sure to 125 students come from different kind of family backgrounds. I'm sure that they come from different strata of society, and they are all getting into some good colleges. So don't worry about it. And there are many schemes from the central government where the fees gets reimbursed for these kind of government colleges. I think private colleges, I think they have their own kind of scholarships for them. Most of them are merit based. A few colleges, like I know the college that I did my MBA from, we had an endowment scheme called scholarship scheme. If you happen to be a top student, some amount of fees gets refunded, but it is not much. But in government colleges like IIMs and all, they have their own schemes. Okay, and there are few colleges which have very lesser fees also, like central universities or Delhi universities, FMS, IITs, and IAFT. So there are many colleges which charges very less fees. One question, I think we'll take the last question. Top 2-3 mistakes you see aspirants make that you avoided. Possibly he wants to know the top 3 mistakes that you have avoided. I think that's what he wanted to know. Top 2 to 3 mistakes, possibly one mistake you can say. And one more question, you can club that. How many hours do you usually study in a day? Possibly, I think you can speak about the first one. How did it go? And I think that will give them an idea how much of rigorousness is there. Anybody? Gopika, want to take it? Mistake?
Yeah. Uh, I'll come to the mistake part later.
Later,
I'll
yeah.
start with the number of hours I used to study in a day. It wasn't consistent actually, but the classes will start by almost 9:30, and even after the classes ends by almost 5 o'clock, I used to be there in time. All of us used to sit in the library, and then we'll go through the material, we'll do mock tests, something or the other till 6:30. And then again, I used to go home, and again I used to study, because obviously consistency is very much needed in CAT. But I didn't have a particular amount of time that I used to study every day, but uh, definitely more than 8 hours I used to spend in a day. And during Sundays or holidays, it used to be much more than 8 hours. But again, I don't think you should compromise on your health for it. You should get proper amount of sleep, proper amount of rest. It's not like you have to study for most of the time in the day, but what is more important is not the number of hours that you study in a day, it's the consistency and it's the hard work. So, and the mistake that I did, I have done quite a few mistakes while studying, but I think I was not that good in quant. So initially, one of the mistakes that I did is I focused more on DILR and VRC rather than, and I just completely ignored quant for quite a while. But do not do that. All three sections are equally important, and you should focus on all three sections equally. Like, just as I said before, doing all the mock tests and sectional tests would make it easy for you, but all three sections should be focused equally. So don't make the mistake of focusing more on whatever section that you are more comfortable with.
Okay. I think that makes it. Don't worry about the mistakes. All of us make mistakes, but then, yeah, I think he wanted to avoid making that mistake. But then, even if you avoid this mistake, I'm sure there will be some other mistake that you'll make. So don't worry. So mistakes are going to be there, but then that is how you move on in life, my dear friend. So don't worry. Okay. So I think let us call it a night. And any questions, you can always get in touch with them through their. I'm sure they are available in LinkedIn. And if you can get connected with LinkedIn, I'm sure you would be able to interact with them in future also. So many thanks, Keerthana and Gopika, for being a part of this. Hopefully, you have been able to inspire few students to think about MBA as a career option. If so, it is important that they prepare early. And many thanks to all the students from St. Thomas College. And I thank St. Thomas College, the Department of Commerce, and all other departments for their participation and encouragement for this activity. And thank you all, and good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Yeah.
All the best, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.